So, Tarek, have you started recording?
Yes, it's already being streamed live on Twitch.
Fantastic. Well, hello, everybody that's happening to be watching on Twitch. Um, for everybody that's new here, I'm Captain Gunter. I'm one of the captains here at Luna Wolves, and today we've got the other two members of the Mournival here, Tarek Targanin and Tifi, everyone's favorite lovable burb. So we want to first thank everybody that was able to join today. There's been a lot of work and effort that's gone into setting up and kind of putting together this vision that we have for the Legion for this coming 1.0. But so with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Tarek, and Tarek's going to walk us through this lovely PowerPoint he has spent a lot of time and effort creating for all of us to kind of show us where we're going to be heading.
Thank you, dear Gunter. But I also want to shout out to all the Legionnaires that have contributed with all the ideas and discussions so far. So thanks to every single one of you. I'm gonna now start sharing my screen. So please let me know if you can actually connect and if you can actually see it. I'm both live in Twitch and in this screen.
I can confirm we see it on Discord.
It's looking good, Tarek. Proceed.
Gonna give just 30 to 40 seconds for the rest to actually join in the channel, or these actually start sharing the screen by default.
Can you maybe post the link to the Twitch stream in a general chat, maybe?
It's in announcements and in the chat here in Road 1.0.
Yep. Someone already posted, so several places for people to watch.
Excellent.
Perfect. In that case, thank you guys. We'll keep the parts that you know relatively short, but we thought it would be interesting to do a bit of a roundup on what's the current Legion structure, what's the original tenets on which we were founded, and then we will update on everything else that has changed and that we've now started to plan for, given the wealth of news that came on the last Citizen Con that got us all quite excited. And basically, as you all know, the gates of Pyro are around the corner and we don't want to be found wanting. So we've planned more or less for the 18 to 24 months that might take for that release a series of activities and organization readiness strategy to make sure that once that happens, we are in the position that we want to be in, that you can all have the fun and experience the verse in all its breadth and width and depth with us. With that said, just a little vision on the Legion structure. We are basically guided by something quite simple, which is freedom, fraternity, and equality. We're structured in a way that tries to empower discussion and openness of communication. So never be afraid of, saying what do you think is that you should be speaking of, or what do you think should be the future of the Legion. We have the Warriors Lodge, which is more or less like a parliament where every single one of you that is a legionary can actually join in and can voice what is their concerns with the Legion currently, what is their vision for the future of the Legion. And in there, once you enter the Warriors Lodge, please remember that you leave the rank at the door. So everyone is an equal and every voice holds the same weight within the Warriors Lodge. Then, as you know, we have the Mournival, where we are more like the executive body of the Legion. We have 5 members to also ensure there's always a plurality of views and we never end up in an autocracy, forcing us to, always try to see the things from different angles and take into account all viewpoints, all time zones, and not a single voice can become too loud and too powerful. In terms of the structure of our Legion, it's created into different companies. Each company is a quasi-independent structure composed of 1 to 6 squadrons within it and led by one of our captains who normally has a primary time zone of playing, like Europe or United States. But that doesn't mean that that a given company could not potentially have a squadron led by a lieutenant based on a different time zone than his. We just simplified for the purposes of ensuring that all you new legionnaires can find the right group of people to play with. The idea is to foster a microcosmos where you can find more teamwork, more community, with people that share your interest, that share your time zone, and that share your attitude and energy. So basically, it's just another way to reinforce the community and make sure that you all can keep finding more content in the verse, because the way we see the verse right now, it's a great sandbox, and one of our key missions and duties in the Legion is we want to provide all the tools and content for you guys to actually enjoy this game, because when it's all working fine and the content is there, it's one of the most incredible experiences that you can have, bar none. In terms of our ranks, as you know, there are several ranks that you can attain within the Lunar Wolves. The Acolytes are basically affiliates, so those people that have joined the Legion but do not have us as their primary organization. Then if you set our organization as a primary, then you will become a Legionnaire by default. One of our bots will automatically grant you the role. If that does not happen, please just shout out to any of the captains who have role editing powers, and they will verify that you are indeed set with our organization as the main, and then they will give you the Legionnaire role. The Surgeon role is almost like a two-pronged role. Like, it can be done to recognize, veteran Legionnaires that have demonstrated leadership ability, people that want to do operations, people that want to contribute to the creation of that content that is crucial for the development and for the actual status quo of Star Citizen. Or it can be someone that directly has a responsibility in a particular squadron, say a squadron led by one lieutenant, could decide, okay, so I want 2 surgeons, one of them to guide my ground team, one of them to run my air team, or 5 of them, or one to guide the logistics aspect of the squadron and the other to guide the medical aspects of the squadron. Whatever and however you want to set it up is up to you. We don't believe in forcing people to do things they don't want. Like, this is all a passion project from every single one of you and every single one of us. So we believe that, if you just create the sandbox and where you can develop the squadron, the team, the company that you feel passionate about, like, it will just end up in you being happier and you staying for longer and contributing more towards this community of ours. Beyond that, you have the rank of Lieutenant, which is the rank for the leaders of the Legion. They have the ability then to actually create a squadron. A squadron is composed of up to 20 Legionnaires or Acolytes, and a squadron can follow one of the different archetypes that we present here. Although it's not exhaustive, if one of you wants to do something and feels passionate about something that is not included and not covered within those different archetypes, just hit us up and then we'll think about which other archetypes can we create. They are here to serve as a guide and also as a tool to help us have an inventory of which kind of squadrons do we have active in the org, and thus who could respond in a particular time zone to a particular event, whether it is resource collecting, whether it is exploring, or whether it is waging war. The typical squadron that you'll find is a tactical squadron, which are the backbone of the Legion. They're quite versatile groups. They're normally combat focused. Devastator squadrons are those squadrons also based on combat, but that are specialized on the maintenance and crewing of particularly large vessels, such as Aegis, Javelins, Polaris. Explorator squadrons are basically can have 2 purposes. It can be a combatant-focused explorator squadron, in which time they would be specialists in reconnaissance and stealth, or they could be purely Legionnaires that want to explore the verse, that want to find points of interest, that want to trade with that information, and that want to help us expand and find those new resources. In terms of logistics, logistics squadrons will span from resupplying the frontline combat to creating bases, to collecting supplies, trading. Basically, those are the squadrons that allow the Legion to remain independent, because you will have noticed perhaps that in no case we've mentioned we're a PMC. We are not for sale. We fight all the battles pro bono, and we fight the battles that we believe in. Then we have the Apothecary Squadrons. The Apothecary Squadrons fundamentally are those squadrons based more around the lines of medical gameplay. And can be humanitarian aid, can be whatever. And again, as mentioned, if this is not exhaustive, this is not restrictive, if there's something that you want to do out of those lines, we will find a squadron for you, we will find the content for you, we will find the team for you. That said, now we're going to move a bit, and now we're going to start introducing what's new. First is a moment of framing, a moment of asking questions, because we did a bit of a soul search to think where we wanted to go, but to know where we want to go, we had to know where we are at. So I wanted to ask all of you, and you can answer in the chat. If you had to guess how much we've managed to grow within the 6 months we've been openly operating, where would you position us? So this is a normal distribution curve. Basically, it indicates the percentiles that people. Oh, Aeon is going for 3%. All right. Most of you then, I assume, that thinks that we're above the 90% of the organizations. This is basically a percentage list of the orgs by size. Anyone gives more than a 97th percentile? 50? Okay. So we are one of the top 50% orgs in game. Ooh, I see a 30%. Not bad. Lazy Line goes for a 20%. Cisgani goes for a 10%. So I can confirm we're above 16%. Anybody dares to go to the 12.3%? That's 2 standard deviations away from the mean. Warlock's going. Whoa, Ferret's daring to go for 1%. Well, we are actually indeed over the top 2.3% of orcs, but you know that the far limit on any standard distribution curve like is the third deviation, the 0.1 percentile, the top 0.1% in the world or in the game. And the truth is, we're already there, motherfuckers. And apologies for my language. We are among the top 100 orgs in game as of yesterday. From the 93,373 organizations in game, we rank amongst the top 100%. We're not only 1%, we're actually top 0.1%.
Derek, also, I think we've been doing this also for less than a year.
Yeah, we've been actually openly operating during 6 months. It's insane. And that means that if we desire to become a top 100 org, then we can stop. We don't need to do anything else. Game over. Like we can just keep doing what we're doing and do nothing. If we wanna become a top 60 org, we should reach 1,000 members. To become a top 37 org, 1,500. 2,000 members would set us as a top 28 org. 3,000 members as a top 17 org. And to take the 10th place as one of the top 10 orgs in game would require 3,500 legionnaires. So now we know where we're at and which is the framing. How many members we have now, I see from Ian. I'm going to answer that one before going to the Q&A. Right now we're around 630 members, but it's increasing by the minute. And once that's framed, we thought, so what's our ambition? And we kind of created our own little scale in which we thought, okay, so the scale of our ambition has to be directly proportional, first, to the numbers we have with us, and second, to the skill those numbers have. And we decided to say, okay, so assuming 1.0 is launching in 18 to 24 months, if it doesn't launch, something else will launch by then, but that's the time frame we're working with. Where would we want to be in terms of size and skill? Would we want to be just a casual organization and get together now and then? Would we want to just be an errant fleet without any established bases to minimize any potential loss or attacks on us and just focus on guerrilla warfare? We want to settle some outputs. Do we want to own a space station? And if so, where? In UAE space, which would be quite easy to manage? Or do you want to own a UAE station directly in Vandal territory because your balls are heavier than aluminum, which is quite light? What a shitty comparison. Or do you want to go completely in and dominate an entire system and build a Bengal? So those are the kind of scenarios that we wanted to ponder and think first if they're feasible, and second if we want them. It's like we've managed organizations on over 10,000 members in the past, and it's not always the best strategy to go to be just the biggest. So we categorize the different levels of organizations in terms of a small org would be an org on under 100 members based on the percentiles that we downloaded from we downloaded that we manually typed into an Excel, and then we crunched the numbers. A small org will be under 100 members. A medium org would be between 101 to 750 members. A large org, 751 to 3,500, and a massive org would be above 3,500 members. So we thought, okay, so what if you want to go to the absolute maximum that we described here? Like, what is the most you could do in Star Citizen? You could potentially, within the realm of possibility, you could dominate an entire system. You could block an entire system, make all of its resources yours, block every single gate jump through the planetary system of shield tech, gain all the tokens every single whip to have the automatic defenses. That is feasible. What would it take to be there? Probably a massive org and an incredibly high skill level. On the other axis, like if you want to just get together, a small org with low skill, that's good enough. And we saw a lot of different areas. In the y-axis, you will see the level of expansion and thus immobility that an expansion carries, because it's much easier to not have any properties and be able to just strike wherever, move before anyone can fight back. But it's much harder to move an entire planet if you've colonized and conquered an entire planet. And on the x-axis, you would have how many members and how much skill would you need to get there. So basically we did this ballpark assessment, and should we reveal? What do you think, EnterTV? Should we say what we kind of thinking about?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we can ask what the members feel.
Yeah. Where do you think? Where would you like to inhabit? We're checking the chat now. Space station. Okay, space station seems to be non-negotiable.
Yeah, we're gonna need a space station to stay relevant. I think that's a no-brainer, right?
Okay, we got one good answer. Large org, high skill. We got one.
Motherfucker. All right. So yes, more or less all of you are aligned and say more or less what we thought would be the inkling of the org. We decided that we would like to inhabit the space station, large or high skill. So basically it means like at our lowest point of effort and numbers, we would be here. But if we really go hard on the skill and ability setting, we could even fight for planetary control with much larger orgs. Because remember, all the massive orgs are not focused. They're made of more a conglomerate of different people with different interests and no clear structure. And we would if we go for super high skill, we could compete with anybody. So this is more or less the ballpark we want to play in. Universe submission. Ferret is really letting his worst instincts take over. Please do not share about our plot to kill Imperator Addison. So we're glad that you all feel the same way that we feel. We have been speaking with a couple of you in the background and listening to conversations. But now the next question is, where should we start? And special shout out to Ferret, Dominic, and RGB, who helped me collate the information for this star map of 1.0. Those are the 5 systems that will come live. In this star map, you will find first the different systems. Second, who is the owner. So Pyro and Nyx are lawless, whether Castra, Stanton, and Terra are UE controlled. And here you see what is their wider positioning within the star map. In each of them, you can see the different planets, which have been all described and categorized based on green planets, which have resources and are also habitable. Orange planets, which either have resources or atmosphere, but they tend to have danger. And red planets, which are potentially useless and really do not have much resources or much of an atmosphere or much of nothing. So I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, we haven't fully set on this because this will be an open discussion since we have very limited information. What I can share with you is that as many of you are fucking, Jesus Christ, the cons are nailing it. Yes, we...
Yeah, we got so many correct answers from what we guessed.
It's insane.
Yeah, I was about
Yep.
to say, it was like we'd even need to do the PowerPoint.
Yeah, motherfuckers, you could have saved me a lot of trouble. So far, we have settled on Castra as the preliminary starting point. Castra has 2 planets, Cascom, which has a great level of resources and has a UEE base, which would be a great planet because you could create like permanent outposts and space stations there, which would be easily defendable. From Castra, you have easy access to both Nyx and Pyro to launch raids against the Lawless. And if you were to see the wider context of the star map, and Castra is right here, it's also a frontier planet with all of the Xi'an territories, with some Banu territories, and it has quite a direct line to the northern line of expansion of the Vandal. So if you want action, Castra is the place to be. Oh, so Jesus Christ! Come on, guys.
Oh, that's beautiful, Tarek.
That was entirely intentional.
Bit of a Freudian peek.
Yeah.
He did that on purpose. He can't convince me otherwise.
That is bad. Jesus Christ, I am so sorry, gentlemen and ladies. Oh boy. So, to get there, if we want to build a space station in Castra, if we want to be able to launch daring raids from Castra towards Nyx, towards Pyro, eventually go towards the hot gates, the Virgil and Caliban systems, and attempt to really capture a kingship, which is one of the things I really want to try in my lifetime. We'll need something else than just good wishes and intentions. We'd better be ready, because it will take a good degree of organization and a good degree of skill to make that happen. With that in mind, we decided to resurrect or activate, I would rather say in this case, one of our initiatives that will allow us to gain that expertise, that ability, and that coordination amongst the Legion in order to be able to achieve those goals that we all share together. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the Lunar Wolves Academies. What is this? This is our initiative to ensure that any battle brother or battle sister that wants to become proficient and help the Legion expand can do so, that has the tools and the ability to learn and how to do so. Let me put a big ass caveat in front of it, which is this will not be compulsory. This will all be a resource, a tool, more content for you if you want to take it. But if you want to have a company that is just leisure focused and does not want to follow any of the trainings, you can do that. We want to create that playing field for every one of you. That said, here will be the content that will allow us to reach into the future and potentially be able to achieve those goals that we've all set together. You will see in the next pages that we've already started doing the mapping of the Navy, pilot, Space Marines, logistics, apothecary, and explorator academies, and you will see in each one of them the following information. Here you can see how the academies would be structured. Fundamentally, each of the academies is centered on one of the core gameplay loops. Some of them, obviously, combat, which is much more excruciating and in detail, have been split into 3. But within each of those academies, you will see those little gray boxes. Those gray boxes are basically competencies. We've generated between 7 and 12 competencies for each one of those academies that describe what would be required in order to gain that competency. So if, for instance, we want to zoom in and we want to check on what's a gunner, we could see that a gunner is somebody capable of manning a turret, which is much different than a gunnery officer who would be able to also select the ideal weapons and train a solution for the ship offensive payloads. Basically, it's quite a big change from one to another. I won't go onto every single one of those, but this document will be for you available to check. We will upload it on our website, and we will already kickstart the academies. The idea is to start doing those competencies. Each of those competencies would represent a practical fan-based training. What we've spoken with all academy leads is we would rather, if those competencies can be gained through one or two operations that are actually fun, engaging, and thus also create content for the legionnaires that are participating, and with or without supporting documents as required. And we're already working with the leads for this. I'm going to move to the next ones to finish the blabbing for this section. What you will also find in the next iteration of our LunaWolves.org portal, that's lunawolves.org, not the mission portal, that's wolfden.nl, is that within the next 6 months, we're working to have badges enabled. What are badges? Badges will be groupings of competencies that you have completed. So, for instance, imagine if with our Apothecary Academy leader, which we will announce in a moment, we decide that to obtain the Combat Medic badge, you need to complete those 3 competency trainings. Once you have completed those, the badge could be assigned to you, and then you'd receive the appropriate badge both in Discord and both in the portal. That would allow us to keep even a more in-depth, comprehensive inventory of who is ready for what. So if we have to launch a raid into Vandal space, and for some reason in 1.0 the shards are limited to 300 people, we could select based on who has the highest skill level and who is more ready in terms of training completion. With that said, and again, everything of those documents will be made available online later, and it will be recorded in the Twitch, and it will be uploaded into our YouTube. This is what we've planned in terms of roadmap to 1.0. So right now we're here. Today is the launch meeting, and we're gonna give it like a brief overview of what else do we want to be. The training will be provided by the academy leads, which will create their own teams, and you will go seeing. So basically, right now we've established a roadmap. We've now sent it, and we will publish a week after this meeting. We will start having quarterly lodge meetings where we can have, a session of discussion, more open than this, or we can review whatever wants to be presented to the lodge. And we will then start planning also community events. The idea is to have a booth in CitizenCon 2026 when it's back in either Manchester or Frankfurt. We're also running a campaign of advertising and promotion with Reddit ads, Spectrum ads. We're now just launched, thanks to Gunther's generosity, a massive campaign with Board Gamer. And we want to start creating also the team that will carry the organic ANP activities going forward. We'll first recruit whoever of you wants to contribute to social media, and then we'll do a touch point mapping activity in which we will map the different audiences and through which channels do we want to reach them, then which frequency do we want, and then we'll create the content and start deploying a comprehensive social engagement plan. In terms of the academies, we're now in this stage. We're pretty much done with the capability mapping. We're pretty much done with the leads. And as soon as January hits, we will start with the Wave 1 capabilities training development. So basically what we will ask is we will ask our academy leads to prioritize 4 trainings, 4 competency trainings, to ensure that we have a proof of concept and that we have a starting point, and to have them ready by the end of Q2 or by the middle of Q2 of next year, when we will then start the refining phase, taking the feedback, and on the background start working on the capabilities and development of the Wave 2 capabilities. with the idea of, for Invictus launch week of 2026, have all the capabilities before presented, ready and available and easy to run. So I think you'll find you're wrong. RGB is putting some comments, and I'm stalling for time because he's he's so wrong. I mean, he could not be more wrong. I don't understand what you're saying. What are you trying to say here? Wait, did not update. It's not updating to 2026. Okay, yes, I guess I got that spelling mistake. Fuck you, RGB. Funny, in my work computer, when I update it on the background, it updates the presentation mode. Anyway, yes, that is ILW 2026. Okay, let me create it.
Well, we'll have the time machine invented by then. That's why we're going to repeat 2025.
Bastardo, I hope you're happy. In terms of tools and tech, our friend Tiffy has been going absolutely insane and balls to the walls, and he has already completed our onboarding board, the mission portal, and on the other side, Gunter has been completing the org website. They're all in process of refinement. What does that mean? That means that no more events will be posted in Discord. We will run our events through the mission portal that Tiffy has created because it allows for a wide array of functionalities that are absolutely sick, which if we have time after the Q&A, I'm happy to go over, or you can find in our Lunar Wolves guide explained, which is posted in announcements. Basically there you will learn how to enter the mission portal, how to do everything. Basically in the mission portal, you can set up a mission, you can sign up, and then the mission creator can assign different teams based on the different people that have joined. Eventually we'll be able to assign different ships to each one of them and then publish what is the roster complete. And our website, which is currently now under refinement, and again, for this moment of Q1 of 2025, we want to have the squadron self-service system and individual profile tracking, and we want to launch more or less with Wave 1 of Academies, the 2.0 version of both Mission Portal and the org website. So with that in mind, we would appreciate your help. Because we want to start working on all of this, and we have new roles and teams for you to sign up within the Legion. Right now, we would like to congratulate all the Academy leads that have been already appointed and confirmed. You have Ferrit, who will be leading Aeronautic Imperialis, which is both the Navy and the Air Force Academy. Disapunio will be leading our Apothecary Academy. And the Space Marines Academy, there's an X there, but it will be Captain Gunter. And we're now finalizing who will be the lead for the Logistics and Explorator Academy. So, as soon as we have all the names, we will announce them, but you can already contact Ferrit or Disapunio if you want to help on the creation of their respective academy. That is Navy and Air Force for Ferrit, and Apothecary Academy for Disapunio. Aside from that, we've created other teams. We have a tech team that is led by Tiffy, and if you would like to help with the programming of new bots, such as the board that synchronizes roles, a board that makes people log in and onboard them into the org and gives them the adequate title, feel free to contact Tiffy. And we have two other new teams, like we have the Administratum team, which is basically like we want to have people that just basically keep a tally of all the different squadrons, members, and squadrons within a company. So basically you'd be speaking and having good contact with the captains to be able to just let us know how many squadrons are in each company, what's the capacity level of each squadron, to help us have an idea of when we should spin up new squadrons or spin up new companies. And then the role of Iterator, which would be for those of you that want to help with the social media initiative. And that is pretty much the end of the slideshow. Let me do a little trick because I think this is a good slide to speak on. So now will be the Q&A session.
Yes. I've got the first question already for you, Tarek.
Ooh.
It's from yes, Enduring Bias messaged me. He wants to hear more about large-scale operations in the future. Is there anything we can tell about that?
Yeah, basically we've done large-scale operations in the past. We normally, what we do is we create a bespoke protocol for those. Like for instance, once we organized a 48-hour fight constantly dominating Jamtown. For that, we generate bespoke operations with the operation lead that wants to carry it, and we generate like a protocol of which are the recommendations for the joining squadrons and captains in order to be able to maintain the control of an area for 48 hours. All of these is things that indeed we want to do and we want to keep creating, because right now is the moment of pushing content, creating operations, and having fun together.
So we got one. Let me go through another question from RGB. Are we going to make a base in every system, or just wait for a main one in Castra?
So right now, the idea, and again, all of this will be mobile. Like we want to for sure have the space station abilities to have our dogs. We want to have a main station in the home planet that we define, and from there we also want to become the best and hit and run errant warfleet tactics, which means that when we send an expedition, we send an expedition of expert companies or expert expeditions that can set up base, be self-sufficient, and set up temporary base in case they need. And
breaking up, Tarek.
Oh, I'm breaking up. My apologies.
Yeah, we didn't catch any of that. You mentioned about raids and then you went silent.
All right. So basically, what we want is like we want to have that main base of operations, and we also want to become the best in terms of expeditionary fleets. That is self-sustaining fleets that can set up base fast, cheap, and set it, and from that forward point in operations, conduct raids on enemy territory to obtain more resources for us. I see the question of Punio. Again, this is for now what we think based on those planets. As more information comes online, this will be dynamic, so please always feel free to use the Warriors Lodge channel or hit us up if you want to discuss anything in particular.
Okay, and I've got a question from Lime just saying about what will fleet standardization kind of look like. I guess I can kind of answer that one. That's just going to kind of look more once the game finally settles and we got kind of ships kind of staying consistent with, specs and, saying what either meta is or just in general how that gameplay loop's going to look. It's just hard to kind of make that standardization now just because of how much the game, constantly changes update to update.
Yeah, and again, with everything, like this kind of tools will be the resources for you to use if you want it. If you really love a stupid ship and want to keep flying it, no one will stop you from doing that, even if it's a stupid idea and you should feel bad about it.
Yep, so if you do want to take that MPUV out, more power to you.
We got a question about Discord events from the Wartime CEO.
Ooh.
Can we still post events on
no.
Discord? Just
So
go on.
Oh, sorry, Tiffy. No, you've
No,
been
go on.
You've been the creator. You deserve this.
No, you got this. Go on.
Right. The system already exists. So this is wolfden.nl. In here, you can log in. It will ask for your Discord authorization. And we already have the mission portal live, where you can see all the different missions. You can enter within them. Here you'll see the mission details. The mission creator and captains will be able to broadcast. For instance, like I'm going to broadcast right now this event to the Warriors Lodge. And in the sign up page, you can sign up, decide not to be in, re-sign up again if you're particularly indecisive. If you do this more than 3 times, an agent will come to your house and hit you. And then what the mission lead and the captains will be able to see is, imagine if this was an operation where we wanted to phase 2 fleets. I could create an Air Force team, Luna Wolves, a Navy team, Luna Wolves, then assault OP4 team, and then it's so easy as to actually start dragging and dropping people here. And once I have the roster and everything, I just can broadcast the exact composition. Again, I'm going to do it into Warriors Lodge, and every single one of you knows which team you will be set, and thus what do you have to prep for. So basically what we'll do is we will have only one post. We will remove all permissions to create events in Discord, and we will have a sticky post directing everybody to the mission portal and teaching you how to use the mission portal with the Luna Wolves guide attached. That's all like the brainchild of That's an expression in this case.
Let me just quickly grab the question from Enduring Vice. He asks about picking roles when you're about to sign up. The answer is yes, I am going to make this.
So that is what we were speaking about when we spoke about the 2.0 functionality development. So this is already a prepackaged functional solution that gives us more alternatives and better roles in Discord. There will be further functionality with the 2.0 launches both in the mission portal and on the org website. And you have no ability to love, so stop lying and during.
Also, the sign-up page seems a bit barren. That's to do with the fact you will be able to enter your ships. You can assign ships you own to a mission. So the captains or the organizers can actually use these ships in the roster management and assign people to ships. So you actually will be building like a fleet for a single purpose. That's why, well, it's not done, so that's why the sign-up page is so, let's say, boring.
And this, as you all know, like is our Luna Wolves page. And yes, indeed, we're now working on that, Damien, on the on basically a normalization of all of our companies and squadrons to reflect the different ones. And when you click on them, you can actually see what's their ethos, which squadrons compose it, and once you go within them, you can further see which are basically.
Yeah, and that's going to eventually actually bounce back to the recruitment posts here on the Discord. Just for those that didn't see the message I just wrote for Damien's question. My original developer ghosted me in the summer, which is kind of why the website kind of lagged a little bit. And then obviously after SitCon, we realized we were on a shorter time frame. And so I just found a new web guy that's going to be helping me get this done, hopefully in the next week or two. So there should be some nice cleanup to the website coming up here pretty soon, especially with getting all the companies and squadrons and everything, all of that. The goal is to have the website be an ideal resource to where people can learn more about the Luna Wolves, can learn more about the companies within the Luna Wolves, and the different squadrons, that make it up. So that'll be getting cleaned up here soon.
Perfection.
Tarek, we got a question from RGB. He's complaining about.
Shut up! And if you're scared of him, you should be ashamed. He's Horus Lupercal.
It's our founder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will eventually betray us, but that's not a problem.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? Come on. Sorry.
Disgusting. RGB.
Okay, and I've got a couple good questions that just rolled in. So the first one's from Smog1217. Do the logistic companies serve as banks for the current time till orgs get a shared money pool?
So, Diffie, why don't you take that one? Because Diffie is also our treasurer, and he's obsessed with one thing, which is fucking fairness. We don't want anyone profiting and benefiting from the work of others.
No. So the way I see it, if you have a large group of people collecting money, and it goes to a relatively small portion of the same group, then you're skipping time. We're only going to use treasury for large projects like base building or space stations. And I suppose the bangle would be the exception, because no one can hope to create a bangle on its own. But there will be no shortcuts for individual players, as far as I'm concerned, at least when I'm alive.
Yeah, he's obsessed with justice for some reason. If I
And then
can
the
also,
follow
oh,
up to
sorry.
that TP from Siege06 is going to be, will there be any kind of tax or voluntary AUC funding to support a fleet-wide bank?
Yes, well, like I said, if we're in a position to be building a space station, we'll get back to the Warriors Lodge and we'll discuss it. I'm not going to flip some kind of tax switch unless it clearly benefits the entire group. And I think everyone is on board with the space station, so that should be a short discussion. But yeah, we'll revisit the topic when it arrives. But nothing will be done without the vast majority of people agreeing in the org. That's you can take this to the bank. I promise.
He's so stubborn. Trust me. I tried to run a Ponzi scheme, and he was all against it. But I want to just comment on something. Like one of the features that he's built here already on this first fucking 1.0 iteration is the ability to know exactly how much time everyone has been doing. I didn't see this pop up. So
Oh, come
basically,
on! I asked you to test this. What's wrong with you?
when you start an operation, you will see that everybody starts exactly at the time in UTC. So Ferret, Adeptus, Little Devil, Wartime, Royland, and Chronos started the operation right now. And we will just keep covering other questions and you will see what happens as we go forward. Any other question? In that, so I see from Damien, if we wanted to donate for larger op events, who could we donate to? In that case, like that will be either posted as a question and always on a voluntary basis by the op or the event organizer. And I don't know if we see that there is a constant need for organizing this further, we can do that. That said, we've already created the Hive City Market, and is also explained on the Lunar Wolves guide. So in the Hive City Market, if you have a surplus of credits, weapons, armors that you want to donate, you can say, hey, I want to either donate this amount of missile launchers or railguns. I have 10 railguns. Who wants them? Or you can say, I want to sell them for in-game currency. I'm going to sell each railgun to the Legion for 5,000 USC. And then all of that can be arranged to the Hive City Market, which I'm going to post here. Here, City Market. That's it. One big restriction, absolutely no trading with real life money or pledges. I always wear a top hat, a black suit, and a tie. And I'm a bit annoyed. You didn't know that, Lime. Oh, you mean for giveaways? So, all right. Up to now, all giveaways have been funded and sponsored solely by Gunter, because he's both generous and crazy on equal measures. We expect that after this giveaway, we want to hit between these the absorption of more players and the organic recruitment of new players through social media activity. We would think that we'll be in a position to be around 1,200 legionaries by January of next year. That means that will already put us, beyond all the percentiles. That would put us among the top 50 orgs in game and punching close towards the top 37. At that point, like we think that through organic activity and content generation and social media channels, then thus for that the creation of the iterator teams, we can cover the rest and will be necessary to run much more expensive campaigns. So right
Got
now,
a question from Kronos, by the way, Turk.
Yeah, I just
about yeah, you got this.
Okay, so basically, so right now we don't have anything set, but nothing preempts you of setting up a squadron, which role is to find materials and then make posts in the Hive market saying for that what you want to sell and what you have available, and you can sell it to the rest of the Legion for UECs. Okay, so I see also another very good question from, I cannot see your name because for some reason when I connect my secondary monitor, like the first one starts doing funky shit, but it's basically like, how can we keep the players in this giveaway? And
Oh, it's 2 taps.
2 taps.
Assuming
Okay.
that's-
And what is the retention? Basically, like we had a very high conversion rate of members who joined on the past giveaway, and we think and we want to ask from all of our leaders, like if we can keep an enhanced activity level, generating good content and quality operations, like the one that Enduring Bias so cowardly canceled at the last minute because he was scared of the service. We will make sure to showcase all new recruits the wealth of content and fun that they can have in the Legion, and thus will increase our retention rate for all of those who have joined as Legionnaires, and all of those who have joined as Acolytes will decide to just convert our org into their main org and become full-fledged Legionnaires to have access to all the other wealth of content. Aside from that, there are some events that we're planning that I cannot reveal much yet because they will be a bit meta and they will occur both in and out of the verse. More on that later. Will there be any way for the portal to notify us when an op is about to start? Well, the portal has a functionality, and that is actually something that we discussed with Tiffy. Probably will come on a 2.0, but for now, like the op leader can simply rebroadcast the operation to the events tab. And normally the best practice will be like to broadcast it when you set it, and then 48 hours and on the day of the operation to send reminders.
Yes, if I can add to this, when I was creating the portal, we had a closed testing group, and we had all kinds of questions, and this was one of them. And the main sentiment is that people would want to opt out receiving these messages because they could be perceived as spam. And that is not an easy development to do.
So yeah, if it happens in the future, it will be more like... Oh, sorry.
You can tie it to a role where you can add a role to yourself, like, I don't know, portal warnings. So I can just ping everyone with this role and username, and then it will maybe ping you when your operation is about to start. But it's still in development, obviously.
And I am not a poopy butthead, I am a poopy dick dog.
Okay, and I don't know about this functionality yet, Smog 1217. I'll have to check this.
And also we will start bringing also marquee operations like battlegrounds and wars back online, fund runs, etc.
Yes.
We just need the game to be stable somewhat.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we wanted to already start this weekend, but Enduring had to very, very, very logically cancel because hosting an operation of 40 plus people is a logistical nightmare when the servers work.
Hit me up after the meeting, Aeon. I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, I'll have to check it, RGB. I have to learn the Google API.
So no smoke, we're loyalists. What do you mean, Royalion? Is there a plan for logistic queue origination scale? Mayonnaise makes amazing sounds? What the fuck? Oh, that's interesting. Is that a question, Lime? And yes, Royland, the same way that we will organize the Marquee events like the Battlegrounds, we will also run logistics and trading or events at Leshko. Things that we've done in the past, we've done fund runs in which we have different teams competing to see who is the one that earns more profit on a trade, or a mining run to generate funds for all the participants and then distribute through the following mechanism, because I think enough time has passed and now I can go back to the mission page and I can say ferret left in the middle of the mission. What a little monster. So the portal calculates and ferret has been 8 minutes active. And based on that, once we have the total tally of profit, we can actually divide all of the earnings an equal parts based on the amount of contribution of the different members that have been participating in the op.
Also, Bodhi just decided to join us in the Air Force team Luna Wolves.
No
Can
way.
drag him there. Yeah, he did.
Bodhi, where?
Drag him
Where? I
a
don't
bit,
understand.
a bit below. A
Below?
bit below.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, scroll down, scroll down.
What's
Yeah,
happening?
scroll
I do not. I have no clue. Oh.
Up to
Oh
Bodhi.
god damn it! I finally understand what you mean. Yeah, Bodhi decided
There
to
he
join.
is. So he just joined us at 4 minutes to 7.
That's great because Keteris just left and he clocked a total of 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking Keteris, honestly, he's probably doing something with the toaster.
But who just left? Was it Ferret?
It was Ferret.
No,
Ferret
it was
left and
Kier
then
just
left.
now.
Ferret changed his mind. He wanted to be a Navy team, so you can drag him back right in because he was back to the signed up.
No chance.
He did. There we go. Ferret returned, and now his clock started ticking on Team Navy. So you have much flexibility. This is particular.
TV?
Oh, we might have lost
With
TP.
the-
Oh, there we
with
go.
the-
He's back.
with the drugs. What's it called?
Drugs?
Um,
What?
No,
what
you have to
was the
sell
sentence we all missed? How it start with flexibility?
TV comes back
La la
with
la 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 la. Drugs. What the fuck?
I said community. Oh, fuck off! I said community events like
Oh.
Jumptown and the one with where you have to sell the
Yeah,
medicines.
with the maze. Yep.
Yeah, with the maze. So if you run it like for the entire day, people can come and go during the day, and it will keep track of who is where. Because in another org I used to be part of, people would join for an hour and still get like their equal share. Also above people that were there left for like 3 or 4 days in a row, which sounded a bit unfair to me.
And Smog had a good question, like, what about, people that do something exceptional? So the first of all, like the earnings, which is this is tailored for, we want to really base the earnings based on the amount of time put to be equal, because we want to prioritize and respect that, not everybody will have the same skill, but everybody might have different levels of commitment. So if you're very committed, we want you to be awarded proportionally. In terms of feats, we've already done it in the past. We've created bespoke medals for particular feats, and that's how we've been dealing with it. Or we could, at some point, place a mission saying, like, we need this done. The reward for doing that will be 1 million UEC, sponsored by Killjoy. No, not feet. Feats. Like feats.
Like a feature.
He wants feet. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think on that note, I think it's a good time we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Unless there's any other outstanding questions or anything.
Yeah, I've got one, Tarek. Can you press the end mission button?
Oh my god, what is that?
At
End
the top.
mission?
At the top.
Here,
End.
like this one?
Yeah.
No way. No way. Will this automatically calculate the time everybody has been? Whoa!
What do you know?
What's that about, man?
Yeah, so I'll still need to add something like export to Excel or a CSV, but then you can do all kinds of math. You can round up to an hour, maybe half an hour, I don't know.
Yes, the website will also track medals. And you'll have individualized member profiles on the website. Power BI. Do you work in my company, Punio? Let's have a chat later because we're migrating to that. But I gotta say, this is not Power BI. This is all an incredibly laborious work made via a SQL database with a custom bespoke front end programmed by our own Tiffy. He apparently is an SQL god. Let me see, because we're getting hit for the... Okay.
You also there was another question about which tool you're using from 2 tabs, I think. Let me check. Something about which tool you're going to use in Excel or Google Sheets.
I mean, if it's something serious, I hope we do Excel because I hate sheets.
Yeah,
I can't find it anymore. Hold on.
But yeah, and again, everybody, keep in mind, everyone here that's been putting this effort, you know, that goes for all the leadership too. This is all on a voluntary basis, just for the love of the game. So definitely make sure to say thank you, you know, to everybody that's definitely put in the effort. And I don't know if you took a second to notice, Derek, but we had over 50 people watching this presentation just from the Discord, which is really, really impressive.
Insane, I would say.
Yeah, I found it. So 2tab asks, are we going to use Google Sheet or Excel? TV. I'm not sure. Oh, Tarek left?
No, I am here.
Oh, I think it looks like he dipped.
Oh.
Nice
Wait,
presentation.
Hello,
He
I'm
sounds
back.
audience.
Welcome back. Where'd you go,
There we
buddy?
I don't know. I joined in the Discord inside my iPad to share with all the attendees the latest issue of the Tiffy monthly comic strip as a reward. But apparently joining there distracted me from my computer, so I'll just put it in Warriors Lodge.
Yes. Another exclusive perk to full members. You get a monthly TV comic. They're great. I'll have to post the previous 2 for all the new members here. No, but this has been awesome. Thank you everybody that's come out and watch this presentation. We're really excited what we're building here, and we're super excited to have you guys joining on board with us on this crazy game we call Star Citizen.